It was a quiet summer evening, and my family had rented this beautiful lake house for the weekend. The place was perfect. Large windows, a cozy fireplace, and a dock that stretched out over the water. But from the moment we arrived, something felt off. The air was heavy, like it was pressing down on me, and the silence, it wasn't peaceful. It was deafening, like the whole world was holding its breath. That first night, I couldn't sleep. I decided to go sit on the dock, hoping the sound of the water would calm me down. The sun had just set, and the sky was this deep, inky blue. I remember staring at the water, watching the way it shimmered under the moonlight. And then, I saw it. At first, it was just a ripple, small, like a fish breaking the surface. But then it grew and grew. It wasn't a ripple anymore, it was a shadow. Something dark, moving just beneath the water. My heart started pounding. I stood up, my eyes glued to the spot, and that's when it stopped. Right below me, the shadow just froze. And I swear I could feel it, like it was watching me, like it knew I was there. I backed away from the edge of the dock, my legs shaking, and as soon as I moved, the shadow disappeared. Just like that. Gone. I told myself it was nothing. A fish, maybe, or a trick of the light. But deep down, I knew. Something was wrong. That night, I had a nightmare. I was back on the dock, staring at the water, and the shadow was there again. But this time, it wasn't just watching, it was coming closer. I tried to run, but my feet were stuck, like the dock was holding me in place. And then I woke up, drenched in sweat, my heart racing. The next morning I told my family what happened. They laughed at first, said I was imagining things, but then we went down to the dock, and that's when we saw them. Wet footprints, leading from the water to the house. No one laughed after that. We searched the entire property, but there was no one there. No sign of who or what had made those prints. We left the lake house early that day, and to this day, I can't look at the water without feeling that same chill run down my spine. Because I know what I saw, and I know it saw me too. It was a cold winter night, and I was staying at this old lake house with some friends. The place was creepy, the kind of house that creaked and groaned like it was alive. No one ever talked about its history, but you could feel it. Something dark, something wrong. We were sitting around the fire, telling ghost stories, trying to laugh off the unease. And then, we heard it. At first, it was faint, just a whisper, barely audible over the wind. We all stopped talking, listening. It grew louder. A voice, a child's voice, calling for help. My heart started pounding. I told myself it was just the wind, just my imagination. But the others heard it too. We all did. The voice kept calling, growing louder, more desperate. It was coming from the woods. We looked at each other, unsure what to do. Finally, one of my friends grabbed a flashlight and said, "We have to check it out." I didn't want to go, none of us did, but we couldn't just ignore it. What if someone was really out there? We stepped into the woods, the beam of the flashlight cutting through the darkness. The voice grew louder with every step, echoing around us. It was eerie, like the trees were closing in, trapping us. By the time we reached the edge of the lake, the voice was deafening. We shouted, "Hello? Is anyone there?" But there was no answer, just that voice, calling, pleading. We searched the area, shining the light everywhere, but there was no one, no child, no sign of anyone. And then, the voice stopped, just like that. The woods fell silent, too silent. We stood there, frozen, staring at each other. That's when we heard it again. But this time, it wasn't coming from the woods. It was coming from the water. We didn't wait. We ran. Back to the house, our breath coming in ragged gasps, the sound of that voice still ringing in our ears. We locked the doors, closed the curtains, and stayed up the rest of the night, too scared to sleep. The next morning we went back to the lake. The sun was shining, and everything looked normal. But then we saw it. On the shore, just where the water met the land, was a set of small footprints, child-sized. They led into the water and didn't come back out. We never found out who or what that voice belonged to. But I still can't go near the woods without feeling that same chill run down my spine. Because I know what I heard, and I know it wasn't human. So guys, these stories remind us that some mysteries are better left unsolved. Whether it's a shadow on the water, a voice in the woods, or a figure in the window. Some things are always watching. Stay curious, but be careful what you look for. You might not like what finds you.